consultations, former presidential candidate Peter Obi of the Labour Party and Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso of the New Nigeria People's Party, NNPP, have formally defected from the African Democratic Congress, ADC, to the Nigerian Democratic Congress, NDC, signaling a major shift in Nigeria's political landscape ahead of future elections. The development was confirmed after their meeting with the leadership of the NDC in Abuja, where the party leader, Seriake Dixon, received the two former governors and presented them with membership cards. AIT political correspondent Ogie Imekme reports.
After the closed-door meeting with NDC leaders, Obi warned the ruling All Progressives Congress APC to stay clear of the affairs of the NDC, cautioning against any form of interference.
So where we went to, creating several unresolved litigations and everything, and today we've left that place to NDC, where the leader have already told us no litigation. We are pleading with them, for sake of democracy, please, don't come here.
In his remarks, Kwankwaso called on Nigerians to rally behind a new platform, urging citizens to embrace what he described as a movement aimed at repositioning the country through inclusive leadership and people-oriented governance.
I would like to invite all Nigerians, including our brothers and sisters who are in diaspora, especially those who are interested in contesting elections in this party, to register as soon as possible.
The latest development underscores ongoing political realignments across the country as key actors continue to explore new alliances in response to evolving national dynamics. Ogie Ihimekme, AIT News, Abuja.
And the departure of former Anambra State Governor Peter Obi from the African Democratic Congress is drawing reactions from across political space. Among those reacting are the All Progressives Congress, the presidency, and former presidential aide Reno Omokri. In a post on X, APC National Publicity Secretary Felix Moka described Obi as a political rolling stone, alleging he is in search of an uncontested presidential ticket. Presidential media aide Bayo Onanuga also described the move as predictable, suggesting Obi may struggle to compete within the party. He cited potential contenders, including former Vice President Atiku Abubakar and former Minister of Transportation Rotimi Amechi. Onanuga added that Obi's history of party switches raises questions about his long-term political strategy ahead of 2027. On his part, Ambassador-designate Reno Omokri wrote on X that once may be a mistake, twice a coincidence, but repeated occurrences suggest a pattern, questioning Obi's consistency. Peter Obi had earlier announced his exit from the ADC, citing internal party challenges and broader concerns about Nigeria's political environment. And joining us now live in the studio is Kennedy Nwokocha, a Nigerian political communicator and public affairs advocate, currently serving as the Southeast spokesperson for the Obidients movement. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Are you worried about his movement from ADC to NDC, and indeed the reactions thereafter? You heard Omokri, you heard the presidential spokesperson, you heard the All Progressives also talked about his movement. Is this character questionable?
Thank you for the opportunity. We don't really want to respond to people like Reno Omokri and the other ones you talked about, but because we are here and we need to make the discussion, there is need for us to actually make our case. Like you asked, we are not worried. If there's anything, we are worried about the fact that people like Reno Omokri and their principal want to kill democracy in this country. And that is why you're seeing this political uphill in Nigeria. Peter Obi needed to move to a new political party because the ruling party has sworn that P2B will not be in the ballot. And if you are a politician and knowing the political atmosphere, you're going to make sure that you are 2 steps ahead of those who doesn't want you to be in the ballot. If you follow the political trend, you will realize that every party that P2B has been engulfed with one problem or the other. Labour Party was there, and they captured Labour Party, and they made it difficult for him to move to actually do his politics in Labour Party. There was a Supreme Court case that was given on 4th of July. And INEC refused to, for 6 months, INEC refused to obey that court judgment. But immediately, and we got news that if until P2B leave that party, the Labour Party will not, they will not allow Labour Party to function. He had to move. He went into ADC, and immediately he went into ADC. These people came into ADC again. And as we stand now, even though a few days ago we got a Supreme Court judgment that actually restored David Mark leadership and the secretary of the party, but as we speak, there is 13 court cases. And one had expected that the Supreme Court would have, in their wisdom, knowing fully well that there is a time frame, there is a time constraint, that the Supreme Court would have aggregated all those cases and ventilated on it and give judgment to it. But Supreme Court gave like a kind of half judgment and say, oh, they should restore David Mark, but we should still go to Federal High Court to actually adjudicate that case again. And the time frame is not there. And Nigerians are yearning for P2B, to be in the ballot.
Yes. But what you said earlier about people saying, or some members of the party saying Peter Obi's name will not be in the ballot, or they will make sure that his name is not shown or is not on the ballot. Don't you think Peter Obi acted too quickly, considering the fact that there's no, what's it called, no consensus candidates for that position yet?
No, I said...
If at all, there would be.
As we speak right now, there is 13 court cases that ADC is battling with as we speak.
Yes.
13. And when
is that the reason why he left?
So when you have a government that is bent on making sure that nobody runs against them, a government that controls judicial system, that control almost every aspect of our national life. They control the judiciary, they control the police, they control everyone. So you cannot... Are you talking
about the ruling party?
Yes, I'm talking about the ruling APC. So you cannot take the risk of... We just have few days to primary, few days until everything closes down. So you might go there, so if you go to the Federal High Court, they'll not say, okay, they are giving you 5 days or 1 week to have a judgment. And after 1 week, they say, okay, you have to go to appeal. Everything, because already you know that they don't want you to be in the ballot. And at the end of the ruling party that doesn't want you to, they will say, oh, it doesn't have anything to do with them, it's the courts. So if you are a politician, you have to be smart, you have to be 2 steps ahead. We're not talking about whether, there is whether consensus or
so it's not about ADC itself.
It's not so much
the
about...
movement is not about him having a chance in ADC to contest.
Yes, P2B is a political party. P2B is not...
Answer my question. So it's not about him having issues with the ADC as a party?
No, it's not so much about him having issue with remember that we had gone into ADC and you record the fanfare, in short, P2B gave life, he gave vent to ADC, and you see the energy, that followed us as we went into that party. But the problem right now, if ADC is not free, nobody can say for certain what is going to be the fate of ADC. Nobody can say for certain, as we speak in this studio, whether ADC is going to be in the ballot.
So is he sure about where he's going to now? Are you sure that he has all the opportunities in NDC?
Yes, I don't know, your studio covered it yesterday. Before this time, ADC was a relatively new party. Like in 2023, Labour Party was also, although Labour Party has been there, but immediately we go into that party became filled with energy. But yesterday when we went and when P2B declared, if you go on the street of Nigeria today, if you go on the street of the social media, you will see that the talk in the town today is NDC. Because P2B and Kwankwaso, they are both political parties. And anyway, so what happened yesterday was that 3 political parties came together. Obi political movement, Kwakwanso political movement, and the NDC came together to be a one party. And in the next coming days and weeks, Nigeria is going to be assured, that they have a platform, that will vote. Remember that the majority of people who vote in election are not necessarily party members. The majority of people who vote in election are ordinary Nigerians who are yearning for good governance, who are yearning where the next meal is going to come, who have been, besieged by insecurity in this country, who does not know where the next school fees is going to come from, who cannot go, at night and sleep with their two eyes open, who cannot travel on Nigerian roads and be sure that they will get to their destination. Those people know that this government has failed them, and they are looking out and they are praying and they are waiting for somebody who understands it, for somebody who has empathy, for somebody who has passion, for somebody who has inspired the nation. All of us, we are here in 2023. It is our opinion that won the election in 2023. And
Okay, Mr. Kocha, sorry to cut you short because you're talking about Nigerians. Nigerians are also worried that the same thing that played out in 2023 may still play out in 2027, considering the trajectory and the way Peter Obi is also, switching from a party to another.
You cannot run as an independent candidate, right? If constitutionally one can run as an independent candidate, there won't be any need for Peter Obi to move to anywhere, right? But as it stands today, he cannot run. So there is need. I think it was Walter Scott that said how was talking about building a web of deceit, right? These people are building a web of deceit, and you know that they are planning to make sure that you're not in the ballot.
Those are your words.
No,
but can you even...
Let me make this point. Is it not clear that a man who was in Labour Party and it's an opinion that he won the election, and after that election, that crisis, went to court? It was INEC that took Abure to court. Remember, it was them that said Abure's tenure has expired. They took Abure to court and went out to the Supreme Court. And Supreme Court gave them judgment. Supreme Court said, INEC, I've agreed with you. This guy is not, his tenure has expired. Supreme Court gave that judgment. We took that judgment to INEC, as though INEC did not go to court. We took this thing to them and went to give them. Say, look, INEC refused to act on it. Refused. For
what
more
judgments are you talking about?
No, the judgment, because people said, he moved from Labour Party to now ADC to now, NDC.
Yes.
And I'm trying to, tell you the trajectory and the circumstances that led to that. That is something that is beyond P2B. That in Labour Party, that was Supreme Court, that's the highest court of the land, gave a judgment to INEC that went to court. INEC went to court. Not that we went to court. INEC went to court. It was not us that said that Julius Abure's tenure has expired. It was INEC that said, and they delisted him. And they went to Supreme Court, and Supreme Court agreed with them. And the Supreme Court refused for months, refused to act on it. They refused to act. And we got the information that for that party to be, P2B should leave. And immediately P2B leave, a few days later, the INEC now recognized the judgment that they got in their pockets. And he went to NDC, the same problem followed.
Okay.
So the point is clear. There is that my people say that what you wear in the hand, when you wear a bangle in the hand, you don't need a mirror to look at it.
Yes,
so the evidence is still there.
All right. On that note, we would end this conversation. Thank you so very much for coming into our studios and giving us an insight into what happened with Peter Obi's movement. All right. We've been speaking to Kennedy Nwokocha, a Nigerian political communicator and political affairs advocate, currently serving as the Southeast spokesperson for the Obidients movement. I wish you all the best. All right, so let's move on with more stories now. Former Minister of Justice and Attorney